I was looking for.
You're looking at what? Because we're live now. Please tell us what you're looking for.
I'm looking for that.
What were you looking for, pal? Oh, he's doing his research. Okay. Well, welcome to another MMA Talk. I'm Brandon Coates. I'm the host, and I'm joined today by Randy McCarty and Isaac Nanez of Guerrilla MMA. Do the quick introductions again. Randy just recently had a fight, and you already got another one booked coming up for Juarez.
May
So,
18th in Juarez.
what are all the deets on that?
I'm fighting a guy named Eric. I don't pronounce his name right on the last, but it's a USA against Mexico in Mexico. So I'm gonna go down in Mexico. They're gonna pick me up at the border, drive me to the thing, and I'm gonna fight there. There's gonna be a UFC guy fighter as their promotional thing. He's gonna come out and talk and all that type of stuff. So.
Okay. So, and that's coming up May 18th.
May 18th.
Down in Juarez. So if you're here on the border, go check it out. Go see Wreck-It Randy's fighting. And what's this, the weight on this one?
205.
205.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got Isaac Nanez down on the end. Owner, proprietor, overall good guy over at Guerrilla MMA, which recently moved. You guys are all moved in, though, right?
Yeah, everything's moved in, set up. We're good to go. Looks good.
The new location, which is basically right next door.
It is,
so
yeah.
if you knew where it was before, it's right next door now, but it's right in the Sunland Park area. If you head out Sunland Park past Donovan, if you're heading west, you'll have the racetrack on the left-hand side. Take a right, and it'll be in there. It's on Victory Lane, and it's back in there. It's a good location. I haven't seen the new setup yet because Isaac's either throwing his back out, and I think he's avoiding me at this point. So I want to get back in the gym. Damn it!
Full range of motion, Brandon.
I almost have full range of motion.
Almost,
okay,
man.
Okay, but I have to say this. The doctor cleared me to box.
Is a doctor a boxer?
Sort of.
Is a doctor a boxer?
Sort of.
The doctor's a boxer?
No.
Sort of. Well, you sort of got cleared.
No, hold on.
Wait,
Hold
I don't
on.
like. This isn't going good for you, man.
Hold on. No, it's Dr. Westbrook, the power lifter.
Okay, but is he a boxer?
Okay, so
We'll just stick with that because
So what he said was he was like, in a few weeks, and this was over a few weeks ago. He told me, he goes, you can start hitting again. He goes, just don't hit the heavy bag. It's like basically shadow boxing is what he was saying. Like,
It's not boxing.
Yeah.
But to me, it's something because I haven't done squat in months. So, but yeah, so he's over at Guerrilla MMA. If they need to get a hold of you,
915-920-0517. We're actually changing the Instagram and the social media again.
Are you getting a new account?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, we're getting a new account. We're changing it up, but we're gonna set it up a different way.
Okay.
We're gonna for the Guerrilla MMA, for the MMA portion of the gym, is gonna be Guerrilla Fight Team. So we got a few guys, they can throw and want to throw, and they come in, and then we work that way. With the martial arts aspect, we're doing a whole different thing. So
you're gonna be changing the schedule and stuff too?
Yeah, we're gonna change the schedule. We're gonna have kids at 5:30, but the class it's not gonna be MMA. It's gonna be combat karate, which I'm belted in Taekwondo. I have a second degree. But we're going to incorporate aspects of wrestling, catch wrestling, and teach karate as a fundamental for martial arts. Because for kids, as far as kids fighting, I mean, that we don't know. It's a new sport. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it bad for them? I mean, you're getting a kid hit in the head. We don't know. But the important part of martial arts is the structure, the confidence, self-discipline.
The discipline, yeah.
All that good stuff. The good stuff they're supposed to be learning, as they grow up, but somehow there's a bunch of weirdos out there.
All right, so if you want to hit him up one more time, the phone number.
915-920-0517.
All right, so coming up tomorrow, we've got UFC 236, and the two headlining fights on this one should be really, really entertaining. I mean, the whole card looks pretty amazing, but the first thing I want to jump into is interim belts, because both title fights of this one are interim belts. You've got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Israel Adesanya. Remember, Adesanya is the one who just defeated Anderson Silva. And then you've got Kelvin Gastelum. He was in line to fight Whitaker. And then Whitaker had the hernia, and then he had to back out of that fight. Which is what kind of makes this one the interim belt. And then for the headlining fight, you've got Max Holloway going up in weight to take on Dustin Poirier. With both of those guys are on an absolute tear at this point. But they're basically fighting for Khabib's belt, the lightweight belt. So is this more of a ploy of the UFC to be like, hey, if we don't put a belt on the line, it takes away from people's excitement level? Is that what is happening? Or is it because they're legitimately like, these guys are in our eyes kind of technically a champion, although somebody else truly still has the belt?
I think it's a little bit of both because I mean, look at the circumstances. The circumstances are the champions are out of commission, and there's no big media draw in MMA right now. Conor McGregor is not active. We don't have a lot of that flash anymore, and you can't go from like flash that amount of flash to like the second rate flash to what's his name, Colby and his garbage trash talking and whatever he says. It's like his nonsense, but that's that's the best I can do, I think, man, because people, what is it? The average fan isn't gonna really be interested because he's technically, and I guess we're gonna go over it. But how cool is this? Like, how cool is this fight? For a real fight fan or a fighter, if you present these fights to us, it's like, well, why, yeah, and then we're gonna do what we're about to do. But it's for the casual fan, it's just like, oh, a belt, oh, Conor. When people say Conor McGregor now, I used to like him. When people say Conor McGregor now, I want to slap him in the mouth because it's like, dude,
that's the go-to.
Yeah, it's like, come on, bro. That's like saying Michael Jordan. It's like, I'm a basketball fan. Who do you like? I'm a basketball.
I like boxing. I like Mike Tyson.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you get the person.
But see, that's the thing is, there's not to say that you can't, but like, but that seems to be the go-to for people who don't know the sport.
Right. Exactly.
But then again, those are the people that the UFC are also banking on making the money off of, and ESPN at this point with that gigantic contract that the two signed together. So, quick side note here. Speaking of McGregor, is his shtick done yet? This because he retired and then he came back and said, "See you in the octagon," and
Hopefully, I'm not really impressed with him. He's a solid fighter. I'm not don't take me wrong and think I'm taking that away from him. He's a good fighter, but all the other stuff's stupid. Like,
but see, the thing is that people that's what got him paid. I mean, if he doesn't do all those extracurricular stuff, that's what led to the fight against Mayweather, the boxing match that wasn't really a boxing match. And I mean, that's what legitimately got him the gigantic paychecks. Was all the extracurriculars, which unfortunately leads to a lot of copycats.
To a point. But that's I agree with the copycat thing. To a point, you start doing your antics and you back it up. Great. You keep doing your antics and you just I'm retired and keep doing your antics. You're just an idiot. Who cares at that point?
But this is a world full of idiots.
That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that this is a world full of idiots where people are gonna be like, talk that trash because he can back it up. And it's like, well, against who? Because Khabib wrecked him.
Yeah.
But Khabib,
if you pick the right fight, he could back it up.
Yeah.
But if you pick the wrong fight for him, he's not gonna back it up at all.
Yeah, and then you do get to that point. If you're loud enough, someone's gonna hear you. And this big Russian bear came through and just mauled him. So he's like, come on, dude, now what? And there you go. That's the extent of the trash talking. We saw the era of the trash talking. It might continue. People might still be idiots because people are idiots, but man, skill is gonna win.
Yep.
They're saying there's a lot of things too. Brendan Schaub, who does was it Brendan Schaub? Who's the one that does The Fighter and the Kid?
Brendan Schaub.
Okay, so it's Brendan Schaub. So he was former UFC fighter. He now does stand up and stuff. And he's got a podcast called The Fighter and the Kid. Really good podcast, by the way. And he had made the comment that with the new deal with ESPN, that you're going to start to see less of the Conor McGregors, because before everything was controlled by kind of how outlandish you were and then what you could bring in for the UFC. But the way that they're selling the pay-per-views now, they don't need that necessarily because it's all done through ESPN. So you might see less and less of this kind of trash talking. Basically that Conor McGregor attitude and the actions that we saw outside of that. So do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because you can kind of see it both ways. It can be a good thing in the sense that we don't have to be like, okay, so we don't have to put up with that crap anymore. But it could be a bad thing in the sense that, it might hurt the sport because, yes, us as mixed martial arts fans, we're going to watch. But on the flip side, you have the average fan who, if they don't have those news stories or those headlines, they might be less inclined to purchase a pay-per-view or less inclined to follow the sport as much as they used to.
Yeah.
So which side of that would you take?
Possibly. I mean, you look at the era with GSP and Anderson Silva. Neither one of those guys talk smack.
No.
They were tough.
Silva got a little cocky in the octagon every now and then.
But and he would try, and that was a lot because he was beating guys, and everybody's going, it's just too easy for him.
Damian Maia was a perfect example.
Starts doing goofy stuff.
He didn't want to go to the mat with him.
Right.
He didn't want to go to the mat with Damian Maia, and Damian Maia can't throw a punch.
Right. So then they all booed him.
That was 25 minutes of what is this?
Yeah. But those guys drew in people a lot without talking any smack. It'll happen. I think it fluctuates. There's people that talk smack and they're great at talking smack. Those people need to talk smack. Like, who was the guy you just said a little bit ago?
Colby
should not talk smack.
No.
It's like me going, yeah, well, your mom. You know,
yeah. No, you go, yes.
Sick bird.
And then like, you know, like little semi-racist remarks, which is like, fuck it, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? You want to get killed? You're gonna go to Brazil sometime. Have you not seen Favela? Like, watch City of God. They keep talking smack. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean that was pretty close, like what Chael Sonnen used to do. I mean, he was the ultimate. Like he was the Conor McGregor before Conor McGregor. The only difference is he never won a belt. Right. He was 2 minutes from winning a belt, which he would have had taken away anyway because he failed his drug test after that fight.
I think Chael Sonnen, he was smarter about it though. I think he knew what security to have where when he could say what he. Colby's an idiot that's copying. You know, somebody else's game plan. That's the problem. Chael Sonnen is a smart person. Again, there's a lot of idiots and there's people who aren't idiots. The change it depends on how you look at it. If you're an idiot or if you're not or if you
can back it up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like there's
because that was like you said at the beginning of this when you were talking about with Conor McGregor, he backed it up at the beginning.
Right.
But now it's to the point where, you know, he had the one loss to Diaz, he came back and beat Diaz, and then, you know, he just got manhandled by Khabib.
Yeah.
So, you know, where does he go from here? Because, you know, he said he retired. He's not going to retire. He needs to be very strategic if he is to fight again. He needs to be very strategic on who he's going to be picking for his opponent, because if he picks the wrong opponent and loses again, it's going to look really bad on him. So, anyway, going to UFC 236. That is coming up tomorrow. And you got some big fights. This thing's happening over in Atlanta. And so for the first fight, so Kelvin Gastelum, he was set to fight Robert Whittaker for the belt. Whittaker ended up with a hernia, had to back out, and then they were just scrambling at that point to try to put a fight together. Now, he was the one that was on that final season of The Ultimate Fighter. It was Team Whittaker versus Team Gastelum. So one thing that we learned about Gastelum was he does not run long distances well, because that was the coach's challenge. And then we also, learned that I believe you got to grapple with him right before that. Wasn't he rolling through town?
He showed up in town and we kind of sparred. Not really just straight grappling, but everything.
So
I got to grapple with him in Yuma.
That's it. So Isaac got to grapple with him, and then Randy got to
get punched.
Play slapbox with him for a little bit.
Touch butt. They were playing touch butt.
Wrong.
Don't you? Isn't your strength and conditioning? Doesn't he have a ponytail?
What?
Your strength and conditioning coach. Did he have a ponytail?
He has had one.
So there's a good chance that Randy may at one point have played touch butt in the park with a dork in a ponytail.
No.
No? Hey, it's conceivable, bro. Those variables exist. Those variables exist, bro. Those variables exist, but they don't know you.
All right. So here you got. So quick rundown here. You got Gastelum. He last fought almost a year ago. It was May 12th of last year when he defeated Renato Souza by decision. Right before that was when he had that brilliant knockout of Michael Bisping, and then before that was a loss to Chris Weidman. So Gastelum has been kind of up and down in his most recent fights, but when you look at his opponent, Israel Adesanya, the dude's undefeated. He's rolling in at 16-0. He just defeated Anderson Silva by decision, and it was a pretty easy decision to make. I mean, when you watch that fight, okay, that's the guy that won. He didn't manhandle Silva, but he definitively won that fight. And he's, everybody was comparing him in that fight, like right before it. He's the younger, he's the young version of Anderson Silva. He's the young guy. So going into this fight, stylistically, who wants Gastelum here? All right, go ahead. Well, he raised his hand first. He called dibs.
Oh, you asked who wants Gastelum.
Well, but he answered first.
I thought about it, man. Cause
both of them. If you guys were fighting, he would have already punched you first, right?
Yeah, no, but I would have thought about it. So I would have parried it, and then I would have changed
levels. You were thinking first.
Yeah, no, I mean, because come on, how cool are both of them, man? How cool?
But then both take. Okay, so Gastelum. Fire away. What
You can go for it. You apparently we're in third grade, so you raise your hand first.
You're an idiot. Or no, because he called dibs. He gets to pick who goes first. It's like winning the coin toss in a football game. So he's deferring to you.
Okay, cool. All right.
So now that thinking that you did, it better pay off.
Okay, yeah. All right. So what's the question now?
He's gonna start stammering now. So okay, stylistically, like, what do you see coming from Gastelum in this fight, going up against an opponent like Adesanya?
I mean, the only thing you can do with a taller guy like that is be good with your movement, control your distance, don't get caught up in that middle range, which he has a lot of middle range. So Kelvin has to be disciplined. He has to be disciplined in whatever his coaches tell him to do, because this guy, he does have a lot of tools, right? Which tools are we going to use and which tools are we going to use when? That's the really interesting part. Right? When are we going to choose to go for the takedown? Are we going to pressure the takedown right away? Are we going to get him tired? Are we going to hang on him? Are we going to get him to chase us for the takedown? Are we going to get him chase us to go into that left hand?
If you're his coach, what are you doing?
I'm getting him to chase you for that left hand. If he gets close enough, muscle him up with the takedown. When you disengage, I get him throwing hard and then re-engaging, changing levels coming in, and then disengaging and creating distance so Kelvin can breathe. Mm-hmm. His gas tank isn't that great. But
that was definitely the one thing that we learned on The Ultimate Fighter was it's not. And he admits it. He's like, I'm a sprinter. He's like, it's just the long distance thing.
But at some point, he's going to force that takedown because he can. Because as a longer fighter with longer limbs, it's harder to fight a takedown. Mm-hmm. You know, Randy knows it by wrestling those little short dudes. Like you're like, get off, you know. Yeah. It's like being attacked by a pack of chinchillas.
Well, yeah, you're talking. I mean, there's a pretty massive height difference here. You've got Adesanya who's sitting at 6'4", and you got Gastelum at 5'9".
Yeah.
So what would you do if you're Gastelum coaching?
Coaching Gastelum?
Yeah.
I would probably get a lot of taller Taekwondo sparring partners for him and teach him how to get inside it with them. Because you can't do Taekwondo has explosive forward and backwards kicks and punches, and he uses that style not a lot, but he does use it. So I would have him practicing with those guys to get him to the ground, and once he gets him to the ground, pressure like he normally does, and wear him out, make him get up. Don't hold him to the ground, make him get up, take him down, make him get up, take him down.
Just to try to wear him out.
Yeah, because younger, very athletic, take that away from him. Burn him out.
So then if you're over in Adesanya's camp, what do you like? How are you countering that? Like, if you're his coach, what are you telling him? You know, in regards to, this is what we're going to expect from Gastelum. Here's how we need to counteract that.
Spiders. That's what I think when I have. Because okay, I'm a good grappler, but I'm not gonna be the best grappler. I'm a good striker, but I'm not gonna be the best striker. If I got someone that's got that edge on me on grappling, it's like spiders. You know what I mean? Like spiders. I'm not gonna engage them. Mm-hmm. The hardest person to wrestle with is someone that doesn't want to wrestle with you.
Do the spiders thing.
Spiders.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. Because you don't. Why am I gonna get caught up, hit a switch, try to move? But you want to be able to control the wizard, control the head level, all that stuff like that, and then get that distance, and then hit him really hard.
Because obviously the distance is playing to
huge
advantage because he's much longer than Gastelum.
Yeah, and that's what they're both thinking.
Angles, you have to stay with angles. He's got to touch, and don't plant your feet. You touch him, step, boom, and move. And when you touch him, you got to move, because if you stand right in front of him and look at him, or you do this, you know how he does this little stuff like this. I'm gonna take you down, bro. Your feet are flat right down there. Yeah, eat your punch and keep going.
Yeah, and certain strikers have certain flinch reflexes. You know what I mean? And by a flinch reflex, I don't mean they go like this. As a striker, and if you're striking long enough, you're gonna look at the fucking thing until it hits you. You know what I mean? So you're here is coming forward. Either you're gonna parry, you're gonna dip, you're gonna cover up, you're gonna shell up somehow. Like whatever it is, there's a reflex. And then when you trigger that reflex and you sit still, that's engaging levels. You know what I mean? That's thinking ahead. It's like, okay, boom, made you look. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's what that standing still does. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna plant my feet. You're gonna look at my feet because they're not moving, and then I'm gonna tag you. You know what I'm saying? That's what dancing does.
So what makes it so difficult in regards to like Gastelum going to take down Adesanya? Why, like, being taller? What makes it so difficult? Is it just the leverage of the whole of the body, like to defend that takedown? What makes it more difficult being taller and longer than shorter and squattier?
honestly, it's not. Body types are body types, and you see these NCAA dudes who are like tall and lanky, these little short, stocky dudes, Johnny Hendricks, like, I mean, I'm drawing a blank on some long, lanky guys, but really, it's taking advantage of those levers, right? You have to take advantage of those levers. If you have a longer level, you have certain advantages and disadvantages. Adesanya doesn't have the years on the mat knowing what levers to use, how, and what levers he can't use, or what levers are not. Because I'm sure he has a wrestling coach who isn't built like him, or maybe he is by some weird chance. So it's gonna depend on how he applies what he knows on that. If he can apply a good defense, then he's gonna be good. But don't engage him. It's just he's got the years on the mat to know those levers, you know.
Yeah, like you don't want to play that game with him.
Right.
No.
All right. So now we're going to the question: who's winning?
Can he go first now, man? I'm still thinking about it.
He looked so stressed out when I asked him.
I know,
too. He's like, what?
Dude, because I want them both to win. They're so cool. Okay, so
He's going for a draw.
no, screw that. Screw that.
Yeah, rematch.
Yeah, no, Kelvin. I think
Because
Kelvin.
Whitaker's going to need a few extra months to come back, so they'll do this one to a draw, then they'll rematch in August, and then they'll have the actual title fight in December.
I kind of think Kelvin's gonna honey badger his way to a submission.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that.
he
Yeah,
don't quit.
exactly. I mean, that's. I think
Not
that's
very
what's gonna happen.
fast, but he can get there.
Yeah, and when he's there, dude, I've been on the mat with this guy, and when he's there, you can't get spiders, bro. Spiders, like it's he's got the grip of a rhesus monkey, you know, like he just holds on and you
So
just
you're
can't
going
shake him
Gastelum.
out. Gastelum submission, yeah.
All right, so what are you picking?
I still think Gastelum as well.
Gastelum?
Yeah, even though I know it's a long shot compared to records and all that type of
Mhm.
stuff, but I see the only way that Adesanya gets to win is by keeping long, and I haven't seen too many people that can do that with
They
Gastelum.
can keep him out and keep
Yeah,
him,
he'll
keep the distance.
he'll eat punches to get inside,
Yeah,
and he can hit hard.
yeah.
You know, so he just got to get in there to be able to hit him.
Yeah, man. His only loss to someone with like a longer body type like that was Weidman, and that was a submission.
Yeah, that one happened back in July 20.
That's an example of
Second.
someone with longer levers.
Mhm.
He knew how to use those longer levers better than So
And he's a good wrestler. Right?
monster,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, you're looking at I mean, if I have to pick, do I have to pick?
yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
You just made us.
Bro.
Okay, so we both picked Gastelum, and so this is ultimately for really a rematch against Whitaker is what this is. This is the interim belt. Whitaker still has the actual belt.
Right.
So I want to pick. I want to pick Gastelum as well, simply because I also want to see that fight finally happen. I want to see that fight between Whitaker and Gastelum actually come to fruition.
That's another one.
I'm perfectly fine with Adesanya maybe taking this loss. He goes and tears through a couple more people and then getting right back up there, because I don't see him being one of those guys like, oh, he made it this far. Because you get a lot of those guys where they'll make it to the title fight and then you never really hear from him again because they just taper off. I see him, even if he does lose this, he's going to come back better, stronger, faster. So that's at least what I would like. So I guess across the board, we're all picking Gastelum here for the fight. But I'm going to pick knockout.
Oh, what? Okay.
Just to be different.
Oh,
Suck on that.
take one of these. Take one of these. There you go.
Yeah.
Did I say submission? I didn't say either way. I don't.
No, I
think.
put it in your mouth. We just put words in your mouth.
I was like, I don't remember saying submission.
Wait, what do you pick then?
I don't know.
I know,
I don't really have to pick. It's just
and I went first too, so this shit, man.
Jeez, man. All right, so final fight. This is the big headliner. This is going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
So you've got Max Holloway, who has been on just a tear recently. Good Lord. After his loss to McGregor, this was back in 2013, he has won 12 consecutive fights, which I believe is the longest in the UFC. And his UFC career started with a loss to Dustin Poirier, who's the guy he's fighting now for the lightweight championship. So you've got Max Holloway, who's the featherweight champ, who a lot of people consider to be the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And he's going up against Dustin Poirier, and Poirier has been no slouch either. I mean, that dude, he did have a loss to Michael Johnson. This was back about 2.5 years ago. But he's still he's been fighting incredibly well. So let's start with the challenger. Well, I'm saying challenger. They're both going for the same belt, but in the sense that Max Holloway is a champ in a different division. We'll start with Dustin Poirier. Stylistically going up against somebody you've already fought, but this was a long time ago. Okay, I'm starting with you, Isaac. Okay, so in this instance, going up against somebody like Max Holloway, who he's fought before, who he's beaten before, but who is now fighting as better than anybody on the planet. If you're his coach, how are you prepping him for this fight? Like, what kind of things are you working on, and what kind of things are you telling him to get his mindset ready?
To be honest, I'm telling them about the same thing. You know what I mean? Because they have similar skill sets. Dustin's a bigger one. Max is not. I don't even know because I've never seen Max at that weight. He looks super lean at 45, so he might be comfortable at that weight. I'm really telling them to same thing we've been preaching. It's the same thing we're preaching in class, in practice, and anything. Is stay disciplined. You know, don't get over aggressive. Mind your distance. Use your setups. Use your footwork. Set traps because you're gonna have to set traps with guys like these. You can't just back and forth it. They're too smart for that. They're chess players. They're not checkers players. So they're gonna go back and you have to set up. Okay, I'm gonna pop that jab. Then I'm gonna change the distance on the jab every time I pop it. Now I double it. Now I change that double. Now I add a hook off of that jab, and now I'm setting up the right hand. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Not necessarily that specifically. Because they're so good at it and they're so good at the things that they do that they have this giant toolbox, you know, and it's just for them finding the right tool for the right opponent.
Well, maybe there's something that they're seeing. I mean, they're probably poring over the footage of the Max Holloway fights, you know, and they're trying to find something specific of, okay, so this is a very, like, no matter how small the hole, there is the small hole, and maybe they're going to try to exploit that by doing what you're saying is, you know, but you have to mix it up. You got to change it up.
Yeah, with Dustin, I'm telling him to do the same things he did in the first fight. To again be disciplined and watch those angles, and if he is the bigger guy, and I'm thinking he's the bigger guy in terms of Max might be a little bit taller, but he's a little bit thicker. You're gonna have to wear on him a little bit. You're gonna have to wear him down. You're gonna have to use your weight, you know, and big brother the guy. You know, what I mean, just hold him down, give him a noogie, and then and fight him.
Yeah, Max has 2 inches on at least on height. He's at 5'11", and Poirier is sitting at 5'9". So if you're in Poirier's camp. You know, what are you telling them?
Take advantage of whenever Poirier eats punches. Take it when Max eats punches. Max will eat punches and stand there and be like, what?
His nose shows.
He gets hit. He doesn't even block it. He just, boom, what? You know, and it messes with people's heads. I do that sometimes with amateurs and stuff. They get really nervous. So I put my hands down and let them hit me. And they walk away from me. And I'm like, what happened? I didn't understand that. And Mikey actually was telling me, he's like, that makes people nervous because you put your hands on, what is he gonna do? Yeah. And I hit him, and he just keep walking forward. He goes, it really makes people nervous, and he does that a lot. So, and he tries to get into the mind game type stuff with that, and a lot of people hit him, and then he just goes, and they just step back. You hit him, keep hitting him, you know?
Like, don't stop.
Yeah. Because if he's gonna let you hit him, take his head off.
All right, so for this fight, for Max Holloway, on his side of things, like you guys are saying, both stylistically very comparable. But if you're Max Holloway, you're coming in, you've got the longest UFC winning streak going right now. You seemed unstoppable for 5-6 years at this point. But you're going up against a dude that beat you. I'm gonna stay with you on this question. If you're in his camp, what are you telling him?
I would tell him exactly that. The first thing I would say is that, hey man, this dude beat you. He already has your number. You're gonna have to. Yeah, you've trained. Yeah, you've been doing really good. But he beat you. Excuse me. He beat you.
You getting choked up?
No, I just burped.
Are you sad for that loss? I feel for you, man. He beat you.
So okay, I would keep that in his head because when everybody around you is going, you're the man. You haven't lost in this time. He has nothing on you. You don't have to put so much into it. No, man, he beat you. He's got your number. Let's figure it out. Let's fix this. Get that win back. Keep him motivated in that so that he walks in there and tears through him.
Isaac, what would you do?
I mean, remind him of that and be like, don't do this shit that got you beat. You know, like first of all, I got beat on the ground. Don't wrestle with the dude. Don't talk. I mean, you're gonna have to throw hands with him. Don't get, because he submitted him with a crazy triangle arm bar upside down.
Yeah, it wasn't your typical.
It was really, it was high level. It was beautiful. It was like watching Mozart. You know, like it was like, damn, damn, okay, there it is, cool, because Max is good, and but it's just like, wait, don't do that anymore. Don't, whatever that is, don't do that. And if you get there, we're gonna teach you shit to not do that and to get out of that situation. But just don't be there. You know, like bottom line, it's fighting can be really complicated, but sometimes you need to simplify the shit. And you think
that maybe that would be a good plan of attack for Holloway? Just be like, you know what? Just let's keep it simple. Just avoid that. Like use all your other skills. Like you have all these other things that come so naturally to you at this point. Just let's work on just avoiding that.
Yeah, spiders.
Well, because out of his 3 losses, so Holloway's got 3 losses in all of his professional career. The first one was to Poirier, which was the triangle arm. It was a mounted triangle armbar, is what it was. And then you had 2 by decision that were back to back. The second one being to Conor McGregor back in 2013. But then after that, I mean, he's been winning by pretty much every single way that you can. He's been winning by decision. He's been winning by knockout. He's also been winning by submission. So he's been winning all different ways. So you get to go first this time. Holloway or Poirier?
Holloway.
Yeah. How? If I don't ask you, apparently you're not going to say.
I'm not. I think he's going to keep himself long, and I don't see it going to. I see it going to a decision. I don't see him.
But in favor of Holloway.
Max.
All right, Isaac.
A draw. No, I was kidding. No. Fuck, man. I want Holloway to win. This is hard because I want Holloway because Dustin has to get him there. Holloway's hard to get there, but Dustin is a bigger body. I'm looking at it, and he is a bigger dude. If you can close the distance, I think Dustin.
So you're going.
I'm going with the safe bet. You know what I mean? I'm going with the safe bet on this one because it's so close. It's close as shit. So I mean, the only variable I can look at that I can quantify is that he's bigger. That's it. He's bigger. Okay, I got you. He's bigger. He's tall. He got more range. Wait, man. Why you do this to me, bro?
Hey. You volunteered to come here.
All right, so we got.
We don't got anything yet. You gotta give me 1 second. You gotta. And then Randy's flashlight's distracted me.
Oh my god!
Focus on it.
So put it below the table.
Yeah, no, please. Wreck it, Randy. Holloway.
So you both going Holloway.
I think he's gonna outscore him.
So both decision for Holloway.
Yeah, his footwork's good. His footwork's good enough. He's gonna outscore him.
See, man, because I didn't want them all to be across the board, but because again, I'm going more for storyline.
Then be the Kobe. Let's go, man. Stand up.
Talk some shit.
Why'd you get a New York accent?
Because for me, I really love the storyline of Holloway going up to get this belt and then having Holloway go up against Khabib. To me, that just sounds amazing. So to have him with the win streak that he has, to be as dominant as he has, to go up against a guy who has been equally dominant, who took down a guy like McGregor, who manhandled a guy like McGregor, I think amazing. But I also think that on the flip side too, really quick, who do you think? So whoever wins this is going to go up against Khabib, right?
In theory, yeah.
That's technically what they're shooting for here with this interim belt. So who do you? Because he's currently suspended. When he comes back from suspension, they'll be able to tackle all that stuff. Who do you think would pose a better fight? On occasion, I am picking Holloway, because that's the one. But I'm going knockout. I'm going Holloway by knockout. But who do you think would pose a better fight for Khabib? When he comes back,
easier fight or more exciting?
Both. Start with easier, then go with more exciting.
Just because of how Khabib's pressure is, I think it'd be not very exciting to watch Max with him.
Mm-hmm.
Max is outside distance length, and I think it would be not as exciting in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be the easier fight for Khabib.
Mm-hmm.
That's not saying much. I mean, they're still hard fights, but.
Yeah, it's not like something he'll just run through them. It'll be easy. It's just you having to pick one of the two. Yeah. It's just there doesn't have to be a decision made there.
Yeah, but neither one of them have the hips for Khabib. No, they don't, because they're both getting mauled, and then that's not one of those Conor McGregor train things. That's an objective. They don't have the hips for Khabib. They're gonna get mounted and killed. So who's gonna get their ass beat less?
Yeah, I guess if that's how you want to look at it. Yeah.
Probably Holloway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think because he'll probably just get finished quicker.
Yeah.
Who, Poirier would?
No, Holloway would
Holloway
get
get
finished
quicker.
Yeah, Poirier would take the beating longer. He does have some better hips and he's got good ground and he could probably take a beating for longer. But that's really what's gonna happen on those two.
Okay. All right. So we've got Gastelum across the board, and we've got Holloway across the board. UFC 236. It's happening tomorrow night from Atlanta. And on that note, Randy got a fight coming up in Juarez. If you want to go check him out, one more time, all the deets.
First international one. Look me up on Instagram or Facebook, either one. I'll have all the stuff posted that way.
All right. So follow him there. And then Isaac, Guerrilla MMA. Some things changing a little bit.
A lot, yeah. I mean, but good
for
stuff.
now.
For now, really. Okay, so the format of the practices that have been going on is the same. Show up at 6:30, and I'm gonna have something for you.
Okay.
Right. For the kids, they show up at 5:30. I have something for you. As far as the Instagram, I have someone working on that. As far as all the other stuff, there's people working on different little things. But the classes and the instruction are gonna stay the same. 5:30 for kids, 6:30 for adults, and then I'm just gonna kill whoever shows up. That's the bottom line. Look, I'm not UFC gym. I'm not UFC gym. I don't make a living off of my gym. You know what I mean? I get a couple extra bucks or whatever, but I like doing that. That's what I like doing. So I'm not gonna have a bunch of cheeseburgers in there. I'm not gonna waste my time because I'm getting old. I know, right? I'm getting older, man. I pulled my
last back out last week.
Yeah,
we were supposed to meet up.
It doesn't happen.
And I was finally supposed to go to the gym for the first time in like 3 months, and I was just like, man, you know how it is. I'll throw my back out. I'm like,
Yeah, so we're gonna, you know how. I didn't say it like that. Okay, but I'm gonna look if you, I'm gonna train people who really want to be trained. Because I'm going to train the way I train. I don't know how to train anybody any other way.
Well, but that's one of the advantages you get with Isaac, too, is that, if you're not putting forth the effort, he's going to tell you. Because I remember there was one kid, this was maybe a year and a half ago, I think. And when he first showed up, he was doing the private lessons, and this kid was just lazy as fuck. When we were, around the gym, there's an easy kind of 2 mile roundabout where it's just a couple of laps equals 2 miles. That's your warm up, man. And I'd be running that thing, and this kid's walking. He's just not paying attention. Inside the gym, Isaac's constantly on his case. Like, come on, pick up the pace. Like, stop lagging. Fast forward to a year later, and the kid has flipped like 180 degrees when it comes to his training. Like, he's one of the guys that's always there. Yeah. He's there quickly, and he's just and he's more focused. I mean, you could definitely see that the work ethic changed when it came to him, and he had to just kind of get over that original hump of, oh shit, this isn't easy.
That's because I coach the way I coach. I coach the way I coach because I know it works. You know what I mean? Other people, if you want to be a pussy, go to UFC gym and do Zumba with boxing gloves. Cool. hey, go sweat, go look at a girl's butt. That's cool. Like, that's good on you. But if you want to fight, if you want to learn how to throw, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna sweat. You might cry. You're definitely gonna bleed. But And I'm talking about
like the time I bled, and it wasn't even from fighting. I kicked one of the weights because I didn't step over it all the way, and it ripped the toe.
I didn't say how. I don't. I'm like Randy. I don't pick the outcome.
It's usually me. Or there was the time when I smacked my head on the speed bag.
Yeah.
So he's got a speed bag, and it's obvious. So it's got like the thing that holds it, and I'm like bouncing around like an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's watching me, and I went straight up, just bam, like straight into the top of that fucking thing. And people big old welt on top of my head.
And if people don't want to get beat up, I understand that. I have a martial arts program for that, and that's where it's different from guerrilla MMA, and that's where I'm changing it. Because look, you go to a Gracie school, you go to I don't know what other Babo Jiu-Jitsu or whatever, because whatever, they're all the same.
Well, yeah, like the Black Zillions or American Top Team.
But those are fight teams. I'm talking about like the chain schools, the McDonald's, the McDojos.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna get the same format everywhere, and cool, good on them. People are sweating, they're feeling confident, they're learning some stuff to defend themselves. They don't want to be fighters. They have to go work in the morning. They have jobs. They have stuff to do. Cool. I get that. Other than Randy, you're nuts. Okay, but that's not fighting, man. That's not. Jiu-jitsu isn't fighting. Karate isn't fighting. Fighting is fighting. Fighting is if I'm in a room with somebody and that person's trying to kill me, I'm gonna fight them. That's what fighting is. We have to define things. I'm gonna teach martial arts, and there's gonna be a martial arts program at Guerrilla Martial Arts. But the Guerrilla MMA and the Guerrilla Fight Team is a different thing. If you show up for that, you better show up.
Just make sure you're showing up for whichever one you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. So you're offering now multiple kind of differentiating between if you want to, if this is what you want to do, if you're looking for just a good workout, we have this for you.
Yes.
If you want to fight, we have this for you.
Yes.
So the options are there over.
But I'm not
Guerrilla
gonna lie
MMA.
to people about what I offer. That's what I because you, man, a lot, and I understand a lot of gyms too. Is that you blur the lines because you got to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
I have that luxury where you know I have other jobs.
Yeah.
So I you know whatever I have there, I mean you're gonna get what it is, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna be greedy about stuff. I'm not gonna charge you for stupid things that you don't need to buy. But you're gonna earn it somehow. You're gonna pay more in certain ways than you would financially, or you're gonna go away. But either way,
Pay through blood and sweat.
effort, man, effort. That's a good word. Effort, yeah.
All right, so Guerrilla MMA, it's located out in Sunland Park, here just west of El Paso. If you're heading out Sunland Park Boulevard, you got past Donovan, you got that Walmart neighborhood store, and then you got the racetrack. Turn right. It's off of Victory Lane right there. It's where Guerrilla MMA is. One more time, the phone number.
915-920-0517.
And don't bank on the Instagram right now because you guys are switching all that stuff up, right?
Yeah.
So the phone number is the important.
I think the old one is still up. The old one should still be up. You can check out that one, but I'm not checking it.
The old one, there's a picture of me doing the man makers.
We'll keep that. We're gonna keep that picture,
My
Brian.
head looked like it was gonna pop.
We archived it. We're gonna keep your pictures.
Couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck my shoulders.
That's why you got sad. When we changed it, did you notice? I was like, well, why is he so sad? You're like, oh, damn it, because you got that cool picture on there.
of me, like you're actually doing work.
We'll have that
We'll
for you.
save that one.
We'll have that for you.
All right, so on that note, thanks you guys for coming in. UFC 236 is coming up tomorrow. Enjoy it. Have fun. Randy's fight coming up in Juarez, and hit up Isaac if you want to go train.
International fighter.
Oh, dude, that's right.